welcome in. We're gonna start off with, okay, some of you guys caught the, I'm not really gonna do like dragging or dogging or whatever about a creator, her cooking ability or lack of. I instead am gonna do more, just giving you some good ideas on what to do. Okay. Hi, Joe. So Joe hasn't really seen the video, so we're gonna play it, and then I'm gonna kind of, hey Liz, I know you're here for it, bitch. Okay, I'm gonna play the video, and I'm gonna just give you my, not our thoughts about it, but I'm gonna just kind of talk. Hi, Cheese. I know. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Again, I could do some, I could say things that are not nice, but I don't want to do that. I actually want to use this as an opportunity to give you guys some ideas on what you should do and what you could do instead. Joe hasn't really seen the video, so I'm actually going to play it. I'm not going to show the video. I know that she strikes, and I don't want to be struck. I have not been struck thus far, and I'm praising the Lord for that. So I'm going to start it.
Can't see this right there. Sorry, my camera's a little messy, but all I do is put the rack and just rinse it off.
So
Wipe all the, don't make sure not to touch it because it will bleach your clothes.
let me explain to you guys something. Right now, if anybody saw the video, she's cleaning her sink, and that's what I just played.
Eat with, we rinse it.
Thank you so much
Just
for
so you
coming
guys
in.
can see, oops. I don't know if you guys can't see this right there. Sorry, my camera's a little messy, but all I do is put the rack, and I just rinse it off. Wipe all the, don't be sure not to touch it because it will bleach your clothes.
To your naked eye, you cannot see when the sink is clean. That's it's, you do not lay things, your food, you're just not gonna lay your meat in your sink, because to the naked eye it looks like, hey, it's good enough, but there are still bacterias, there's still different, there's different.
Well, you got a lot of old food that's down in the drain, and
Yes.
around the creases where your drain. I can't think of the name of it.
The pipe, well, and aside from that, you're washing your sink. Well, I'm going to start with that. You're washing your sink, and all it's doing, you guys, is cleaning the surface of your sink. We're going to get into, once she starts washing her meat in there, we'll explain to you the reason why you don't. There's bacteria actually that can get into your pipes. And right, are you talking about the drain spot itself?
Yeah, just where the drain attaches to your sink itself. There's crevices in there that you can try to get clean, but there's always, like, if you were to take that apart after you've done a year's worth of dishes in there and you clean it out all the time, if you take that apart, there's going to be nasty gunk that is just going to be around the very edge of everything.
Right.
It's like there's a plumber's putty in there. There's, or a rubber gasket, and there's things that get into those places that are
So
just not super sanitary.
So-
I mean, you can pour bleach down it, but I mean,
that's not
there's,
cleaning your
well,
sink.
that's the thing is you have to pour bleach down it to get it clean enough to put your food on, rather than get a big cutting board or something that is cleaned on a regular basis that isn't porous or doesn't have anything where it can be bacteria can grow. It's just I wouldn't put anything in the sink.
So we're starting out
Rinse
with,
it off, but
so we're starting out with her washing the sink is only, to the naked eye, it's only level clean. It's not clean. Just so you guys know, even scrubbing it with a scrub brush, it's still not clean.
Yeah, right where the pipe comes up into your drain, right at the very bottom of it. You can't clean in there, and then there's stuff like right that close to your food that just clings to the pipe that you can never ever get to with a you know,
Hi guys,
you don't,
just
you
Linda.
don't,
Thank you
you
for
don't
being
put
in.
anything down in there and wash down inside the.
Spark plug
you know,
Jackie. Thank you guys.
It's just.
All right, let's go.
Then we just spray the sink out. The sink's nice and sanitized.
It's not
And then
sanitized.
I cut my meat,
It's
throw
not
my meat in there,
sanitized.
and then once it drains off and everything like that, I don't have to sanitize that. Then we'll.
That's
put
the most
meat in
important thing.
there.
Is it's
I always
visually
put
you're
meat. I
looking
have
at what you're looking at.
vegetable scissors and meat
It
scissors.
is
I don't know if
painless,
everybody
you
else
know,
does
I
that,
mean,
but it's
there
definitely
is that.
recommended. I use scissors to cut nice vegetables.
That is a good
so-
idea to have 2 sets of scissors if you need 2 sets. I normally have just 1 pair of kitchen shears. I mean, it's a good idea to have a pair of kitchen shears. Anything?
Yeah. No.
I have meat scissors and I have vegetable scissors. So all I do is just take the
But does she
plastic
wash
off
the
and just stick it
kitchen?
right into
Does she wash the
the
meat
sink and
ones?
let it drain.
That's the important thing is you can have
And then
them
we'll go back in
separated,
just a
but you
few
just gotta
moments
make
after
sure
we've had it
you're
cleaned
washing
off and
them
had it
like you do
dry.
your dishes.
I don't know. Some people don't wash their meat. I'm sorry. I wash my meat. I don't know what chemicals are on my meat. I just wash my meat. It's the best thing I can do is wash my meat. Okay. I know.
You can wash your meat. It's a good idea to wash your meat. Let me explain. Let me explain first of all this. When we cook, it helps having extra hands in the kitchen.
Your earbuds.
It helps that there's somebody to assist, whether we're wearing gloves, whether we're dealing with raw chicken, raw pork, beef, whatever we're working with. We usually have some kind of. Well, and let me explain to you. Rinsing off your meat is your best thing. Rinse it, put it on a plate, rinse it, put it on a cookie sheet. The reason I say cookie sheet is because that little lip on it will actually stop your juices from going anywhere. So if you want to have a little cutting board on top of your cookie sheet, at least there's a little rim that you're not still spreading the juices everywhere. But having said that, you still don't wash it in the sink and lay it in the sink. Put it in a plate, put it in a bowl, put it on a cookie sheet. Season it up, spice it up, get it where you need it to be. You can do all that without laying it in a bacteria-filled sink that has, at best, been scrubbed. I mean,
Yeah, like I say, you're putting your meat right over the drain.
Mhm.
And, you know, if it touches the very bottom of the drain, underneath that, you can wash this part of the basket. That's the word I was looking for, in the basket. And then underneath that is, you don't ever get to underneath your basket.
Right.
And into the drain pipe itself. So there's just nasty stuff in there from years of food. You
yeah,
know?
yep.
And
KCG, thank you so much for the blessing.
watch he's got your.
I got him.
The boy's got the earbuds.
All right, go on to the rest, baby. You can play it. Oop.
Play it. Ah,
Yep.
okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, you guys, come on.
I'll get him, baby. Come on.
People say don't wash your meat. I don't know. All I know is that there's a pack of preservatives and stabilizers and everything.
Yeah, we'll wash our chicken. I wash the chicken. She doesn't like me to, but I do it very without a lot of pressure, just so there's not any splashing. All right, and then you got to sanitize, the sink area and stuff. But you can rinse off your stuff. And,
Yeah, I just don't like him to do it with so much pressure because I'm afraid it's gonna splash.
yeah, for chicken.
Yeah, for
For
chicken.
chicken.
Um,
Pork. We don't usually.
So the important thing is that you can do all she wants to do. You just got to take precautions. Do your washing of it. Just don't lay it in the sink. You can do your cutting, put it on a plate so you can put your spices. Just don't lay it down in your sink. I've never seen, honestly, anybody season their meat in the sink ever in my life. I'm 50.
Yeah, once we're done with, if you're gonna rinse anything off in the sink or whatever,
Yeah.
then you sanitize the sink afterwards or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you put it on a cutting board of
Cutting
some sort.
board, cookie sheet, bowl, plate, anything.
Yeah.
Just put it somewhere. I don't want you guys getting sick. And honestly, you guys, that is the only reason that I am doing this right now is because I want to give you guys good tips. If there's 700 people watching somebody lay their meat in the sink, they're going to go home and think, oh, it's totally normal to lay my meat in my sink. And it's totally bizarre to lay your meat in your sink. All right, let's go.
Make our meat fresh. I want that crap washed off. Will it cook off? Okay, we can say it'll probably cook off.
can't have that
these great
mentality.
things, these little bags for the crock pot.
There's nothing wrong. I know some people look down upon them, frown upon the bags. First of all, I've heard people say that it will leave the plastic because you're heating the plastic up. I'm assuming that they treat those bags so that they don't leave the plastic in the bag. So it's
Are
not
they for cooking?
Yeah, they're crock pot bags.
Oh, okay.
So I would say that if you use them, use them. I don't use them. We don't use them, but they're an asset if you want to use it. We have an Alaskan Husky. Literally, he is.
He figures out how to get up and
Yeah.
around or below or anywhere to
He
get out
does.
of where we've got him sectioned off.
We have a
smart
a
dog.
4-year-old Alaskan
And he never
Husky
quits.
and a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old little boy that we're babysitting. Okay, let's go.
And it makes mess cleanup just a breeze.
Yeah.
So before we get started, we're
like
going
having a cooking
to
bag.
layer the bottom with onion. So my neighbor graciously gave me onion. I did buy onion yesterday, but when I was preparing this meal, I was out of onion. So my neighbor graciously gave me onion to use. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use his onion in the recipes that I already have.
So the vegetables she's
Monster Matt
using,
presents
she is putting
Edition
on.
10.
Okay, she didn't wash her celery. It's very important to wash your celery.
Yeah, celery can get dirty.
It is not underground like a potato, but
And
she didn't
bugs.
wash her potatoes either. Correct. Inside, if anybody's ever taken apart the celery stalks, and they're called stalks. They're not heads of celery. They're a stalk of celery. There are actually black little bugs and beetles that live in them.
Yeah, you just gotta take them out. Then you should rinse them or
You honestly,
Wipe them down.
they are dirty enough that I've had to get my hand and I've had to like rub and wash out the black.
It's got soil in there.
Yeah,
At
dirt,
the very
yeah.
least, it's got soil in it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Always. There's always something in it.
Obviously, Miley Cyrus's brother,
And
onion.
she talks a little bit about a case. If anybody's listening to the case, I don't even want to go into the story about the case. Thank you, Sparkplug Jackie. I appreciate the blessing. Thank you.
No, you can't.
Hold on, Papas. Okay. Oh, that's his area for his.
He's going,
We're using it. We're using
Hello.
his truck for a stand.
All right, I'll just hold on to it.
Okay. Alright. Hold on, Papas. It's okay.
Oh
you can play with
no!
it. Okay. So I'm gonna finish playing.
So if I'll leave this third one or not, but definitely.
You want me to put something?
And now we have a vegetable bag.
Oh, you're shoot.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's having a fun day. We're going to be talking about Sebastian Lodge. We're going to actually be talking about the Lore Lodge. Okay, the Lore Lodge. Actually, did a part 2 on the Crowdwoods.
I'm gonna get to the part where she's doing the vegetables.
You know,
She cuts her onion up, which is great. If anybody is looking for ideas when you're doing a pork, it's great. Do a pork. Well, actually, we cooked a pork, but it's in the slow cooker.
Yeah.
Not to be competitive by any means with anybody.
No.
But Joe, what did you do to it?
Well, I salt and peppered it. Okay. And we had used some of it before, so we were all prepared. It was in the refrigerator. I just took it out, let it rest, and then get to room temperature, salted and peppered it, and then I put it in a hot pan with oil and seared off every inch that I could put on it. So anything that was on the outside is all seared up, and put it on high and just let it get nice brown, can't remember what they called the actual scientific term, but
The searing?
yeah, when you
Oh, I
sear
don't
it.
know.
But I just seared every side of it, and then put it in the crock pot, and I added some thyme. I added some garlic, little onion powder, and then I put actual onion pieces in it.
So he seared it.
Yeah,
Did you spice it in the
just salt
pan?
and pepper. Just salt and pepper first.
Okay, and
before I
then
seared it.
when it went into the slow cooker.
Yep. went into the slow cooker, and then I put all the, like I said, thyme, a little powdered thyme, some garlic powder, some onion powder, tiny bit of salt, kosher salt around in it, and then I put chicken broth in it with the chicken broth. I put a little bit of apple cider vinegar and
Why did you put apple cider vinegar?
because apple's sweetness goes with
Pork.
And then I added a little bit of sugar in there. Plus, I added with that I put just a little bit of Worcestershire, a couple of splashes of Worcestershire, just so when we go to make a gravy out of it, it's going to be a little bit of just a tiny bit of sweetness. I mean, I just kind of put some sugar in, tasted it, and then I went to taste. There's no real measurement that I used. I just put little bits of everything and then tasted it, and then I'd added a little bit more if I thought it needed it. So,
Right.
Once it was savory and sweet, a touch of sweet, not a lot of sweet, but mostly savory with a little bit of sweetness. I could taste the apple, a little bit of sweetness.
Yep.
It was good.
And another thing
And now
that
it's sitting in the crock pot.
another thing we do is
And I filled it up. Almost only about that much of the meat's on, above the liquid right now.
So another thing we do is onion is a good idea. Onion is a good idea. Onion is a good idea. Carrots are a good idea. I personally, it's up to you guys. I have never made it with potatoes, carrots, and I've never that. I usually do that with a beef roast. So I've never seen it. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't want to tell you to not, but I've put slices of apple in it. I've done apple.
Carrots are okay because they are sweet.
Yeah. I've done apples. I've also done apple juice on the bottom of it as a brothing.
Yeah, apple juice with or apple cider.
Yeah.
Whichever you prefer. It just depends on how sweet you want your gravy to be. If you're going to make gravy from what you got there.
Yeah.
Or you just use the juice and pour it over everything when it's done.
The top,
And you don't have to make gravy.
Yeah.
It seems like and so all I do is quarter these things up, like right there.
Good idea. Quarter up your onions so they can get around.
Onion. You can put an onion in, clean it off, obviously.
Oh, I put cloves of garlic in there too. Just kind of got the skins off them, smashed them a little bit, and threw them in there so they're whole.
And just scoop it out when you're ready to serve, and then you don't have to worry about eating onion if it's just something that you absolutely hate.
That's the vacuum.
But you don't taste the onion flavor in the roast.
You kind of do taste a little bit of onion.
Everything, so it has a nice.
Especially in the juices of it, when you pour it all over it, it's going to. You're going to taste a little bit of the onion. That's what you're putting it in there for.
I don't know, savory flavor, I guess would probably be the best. The best on it,
Yeah.
Savory flavor.
Absolutely.
So, but I definitely recommend my meat should just about be, dried off a little bit. We're gonna pat dry it before we season it.
I put little chunks in there,
We need to layer our
little
vegetables
diced up ones,
before we
but
ever even
normally you can
consider
just
putting
put
our meat on
big
top.
quarter pieces of the layers. Just
Yeah.
put it,
I would separate
Whichever
your
way.
onion, cut it into fourths, and separate them so they
Yeah.
sit around everywhere. That's the whole point, is you want them to get everywhere.
Right. And then for us, you'll take tiny diced up onion, and they'll melt away in there.
Yeah.
And then you'll never know there, but
If
the
you have
flavor will
kids
be
that don't
more
like onion,
oniony.
you can easily get away with dicing it, and it will dissolve into your liquid. And we'll go into that in a minute.
But we need to season our vegetables because we're going to have potatoes in here. Potatoes take a lot of the salt out.
Yes, they do.
They suck it in. That's why whenever
Potatoes
you
take a lot of
oversalt
salt.
something,
Let me rephrase this. Potatoes are great with pork. They're not especially, it's just lazy, to be honest with you. It is very lazy to just stick them in your slow cooker. Why? Because you can either get home and throw them in a pan of boiling water, leave the skin on, wash your potatoes. Wash your potatoes.
Yeah.
They're
They come-
in the
they're-
ground with
yeah, they're in-
pesticides.
yeah.
They're in the ground with little dirt slugs. They live in the ground with things.
Yeah, they don't grow above the ground.
There's feces of different bugs that are
Sure, yeah.
coating your
You should
potato.
always wash your vegetables.
So I don't care if you cook it on 10,000 degrees and it's taking away the whatever, you're eating.
Even if they're triple washed from a bag.
You're eating a slug waste. They're in the ground, and that's where they go. That's where they're supposed to go, in the ground.
It's outdoors.
Okay.
It's in the ground.
So please wash them. Celery needs to be washed. Potatoes need to be washed. Your onion
Needs to be peeled
peeled
back.
back, pull it back.
At least the surface.
Those are the most important things I wanted to
layer.
get through to you guys. Your sink is not clean just because your eyes see it clean does not mean it's clean. You're making my head itch. I'm sorry, but you have to think about it like this. Remember also, there's other people that are eating. And just because you don't mind eating somebody's slug's waste doesn't mean that your kids enjoy your slug's waste. Just because you're eating it doesn't mean that your neighbor or your friend or whoever, like, it's just gross. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's lazy. Boil your dang potatoes when you walk in the door. Your slow cooker's got your carrots and your onions and it's good to go. There's no reason that you can't boil your potatoes in 5, maybe 10 minutes. Cut them into quarters.
They just don't taste as good if they're.
Here's your potato.
If it's a pot roast or a beef pot roast, potatoes are great in there.
Right.
But with
Yeah,
the
potatoes
pork,
are great.
it's a little bit different flavor. And
So here's your potato. Cut it
I
in
think they're
half,
better
quarter
ordered.
it. Put it into 6 or put it into 4 or 6, and you're going to quarter it into pieces this big. Whoops, sorry, our grandson. They're this big, and you're going to put it into boiling water with a teaspoon of salt in it, okay? They will be done before you get the kids all to the table. I promise you.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Thing is, you can cook them beforehand
And
because they're not going to take that long. Because if you put them in your crock pot, they're going to cook with your meat.
Let's
which is
finish
gonna take
going.
Hours and hours.
Okay.
Which is fine. But
yeah, and that's the
if you're
thing.
making pot roast.
And there's nothing wrong with putting your potatoes in it if that's all you have to do. But if you have an option to do it, I would boil your potatoes. They're this big. They're not going to take long.
No.
Put your fire on high. Put the water, hot
When it's
water.
just about ready to serve, make your potatoes.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Hey, Milltown.
Thank you, Milltown. Let's go, guys.
You could just put a couple of the accident.
Hi, Teal. Hi, Spitfire. Hi, guys.
Salt on there. Is that good? Yeah, I think that's good. That should be enough onion. I think 2 onions for this dish will be good. 2 onions will be good. Do you guys see that? So that's kind of what it looks like in the bottom. And we just build from there. So the next thing I'm going to worry with is carrots.
Sorry, guys.
I've already got one from an old bag that I had already
Okay, here she's putting her carrots.
I had already cleaned off.
She
See, I
did
had
take the
already-
time.
I just didn't need it.
Take the
So
skin
I'm gonna
off.
go ahead and
You can keep skin on carrots
I've got some fresh
if you want
carrots
to.
as well. That's carrots from another, but we're gonna have to clean the
Cut the root
carrots.
off and
That's the
wash
part
them
I don't understand is like
With, preparing food. And
she
I actually have been
wanted to
ordering, like,
clean
Chinese,
her vegetables, but then I think she just
options.
chose to not clean
I've
them.
been sharing it with my neighbor.
Or at least
Wow,
show you,
that's why
not
I'm
show you that she
all
cleaned
the
You know.
powers to help you feel better. It's the love. It's the love. And you guys know.
And that's the part that bothers me is that she separated her celery,
Stay of social media. Don't mind my hair. I just pulled it
separated
back.
her
It's been
celery,
working around here. I
diced her
pulled those
celery,
sandspurs in the
and
yard.
threw it in there
Because the
without
yard's
washing
wide
it.
enough so I could finally start seeing the sandspurs.
Oh, right now she's still doing the
So-
carrots. I'm
and,
sorry. Sorry,
These
guys.
sandspurs, if you don't pull them up or dig them, you got to dig the roots up. If you don't do that, they will come here
Okay,
than there once was. So it's, in my opinion, it's good just to go ahead
sorry, guys.
and dig them up. So I have a shovel out there. It's not a block. We got some onion in there. We got some good carrot. We don't want to overpower too much carrot. We're going to have a lot of potatoes in there too. So there's kind of where we're at right now. Doesn't that already look so good?
It really doesn't, Betty, because
Whoever has celery lasts this long, especially in the original bag.
that's not a compliment, really.
Okay?
Oh, thank you, B-Tim.
It shows.
Oh, don't you like pesticides and insecticides? They do add an extra flavor.
Yeah, a little
I'm dead.
to the meal.
Lettuce, or kind of lettuce.
It's a stock.
Lasts this long, especially in the original bag. Don't ask me how it happened. I couldn't tell you. It's a miracle. I haven't bought celery in forever, and it's still freaking good.
That's not a
Don't
compliment.
ask me again. I can't tell you. Don't do that.
So she cuts off the top and bottom.
How old is it?
We don't know how old. That alone tells us.
Apparently, it's something to be mentioned.
That alone, she
Must
already
be a
tells
long
us.
time.
She doesn't know how old
Which
it
is
is. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on.
Oh, they're using the VIP parking
Oh.
tag.
When I get to the meat, I'm going to put gloves
Okay,
on.
that's another thing.
Meat juice under my nails.
Okay, let me explain something to you, and I try ourselves. Okay, I'm going to say this in the most professional, nice way as possible. If anybody decides to do a cooking channel, please know that everybody's watching behind you. Everybody's checking out. So if you have puppy pads, you might want to pick them up. Your counter, if you have like maybe piled up mail, maybe a bra, anything on your counter, anything on your floors, people are gonna watch whether you want them to or not. And I don't know how to say it. People judge you whether you want them to or not, and whether you deserve to be judged or not. And I just would advise, if Betty were to see this, if you don't, you might want to wear a supporter of females supporter. Your main reason is because people do look at it. You don't really. She's talking about a case and talking about the juices, about things that were in. I try to, when I'm talking to people, our stories that we're sharing, I have to remember that if I start talking about our dog vomited or something like that, it's not going to sound appealing. So talking about a case and getting very descriptive with the case, it all of a sudden people don't really sound like they're excited to try the food, or you know what I mean? The puppy pad, talking about the puppy pad, leaving the puppy pad out, it doesn't sound as appealing to cook something you're cooking. And that's just giving any advice to anybody. We try ourselves. We look around, even though our house is clean, we feel, I look around and go, I don't want people to see,
Yeah.
even
And
my
we're not
shoes.
professional by any means.
No, by any means. But even my shoes,
we try.
our shoes sitting out, it
At
just
least
looks.
we give an effort.
Yeah, that's it.
We give an effort.
So all I'm saying is just think about what people are watching. We try to be conscientious of what's behind us. Okay.
Let her rip. Peter, shit.
I'm very ish when it comes to handling meat, and it has nothing to do with the sanitariness of the meat whatsoever, because it's being cooked. Okay, that's what sanitizes your meat. So I don't care what any of these people say. Oh my God! You could literally drop it on the ground and stick it in a crock pot. Okay,
No.
it's gonna kill any.
Wrong. Wrong. Or there wouldn't be standard.
Yeah.
Okay, papas.
Well,
Or
you
there
wouldn't want to
wouldn't
go
be.
to a restaurant and pay for food that
Right.
got dropped on the. You knew it got dropped on the floor because it's an okay.
There
thing.
wouldn't be standards. If
Yeah.
if
It
it
gets
didn't
thrown
matter,
away at that
then
point.
if it didn't matter that your food fell, or if it
Well,
did,
there's the 5-second rule. That's always good. It always works for
it
me.
matters. Imagine if you're eating it. Would you eat it if the cook dropped it and goes, "Oh shit, we cooked it. You're good."
Cook everything
You
out of
would
there.
go, "Excuse me, excuse me." So just don't.
Just shake it off, put it in the crock pot.
And you don't tell your people that. Like, who cooks and says,
Yeah, you don't want to tell
you don't
people
have
that
to
either.
worry about that, no matter what
You don't
people
want to
say.
let them know about it.
I mean, that's between me and you.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
How's it tasting for you? Good? Oh, okay, good.
don't tell your audience it's all good if it falls. It's never good to tell your
I don't
audience.
think that's a good thing.
Why? Because it literally cooks the meat. Okay.
Why bleach the sink?
All the knuckleheads out
Why
there.
bleach the sink out? That's my question. Why clean the sink if dropping it on the floor is okay?
Good point.
Yeah, there you go.
Good point, man. Why did you clean the sink if it's okay to just do that?
This,
Okay.
that, and the other, but first, are you okay?
Oh, and she cares about the dog, which is always a good thing.
Couple things that I didn't like with the Laura Lodge is, well, I shouldn't say didn't like. I bother about his
All right,
brother. I guess
trying
he
to-
has
oh, Joe, do you have that
autistic,
thing?
What do I
brother
need?
as
This?
well.
No.
Oh, wonderful. It's
That's
right
why it falls off easy.
His dad said,
Got it?
no, he
Yeah.
doesn't think he would have
Okay, hold on. I gotta see B Tim because he usually has something smart aleck to say, and I absolutely love
Boy.
it. B Tim's always got that smart aleck comment. Okay. Oh, I can play it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And I get it. It's not like one of these things that,
Good.
Right up on
a lot of people would
B
pay much
Tim,
money.
did the
The problem
bleach?
is with
Did she
Sebastian's
bleach the sink before putting the meat in the sink?
personal situation.
Yes, and if she did,
Is that he had
then there's
food on the
bleach
brain.
now on the meat.
Well, she rinsed it off.
She hasn't even washed this. She hasn't even done the meat yet.
Oh, she
Oh,
hasn't
no,
even-
you're right.
She
You're right.
rinsed it off.
She sprayed
Yeah,
a
she
quick
sprayed
spray.
it, yeah.
It's autism,
That doesn't mean
okay,
anything.
or ADHD or something like that.
Flash, thank you
know?
for being here.
So, I think it needs
That's
to be
me. I'm always
noted
looking in the background. I want to see the paint color. I'm nosy.
So here's where the celery is. Here's the carrots. Now we're going to put in the potatoes.
And she takes them right out of the bag.
We're going to put just a few.
Right out of the bag.
I'm starting to get a little
Here's the bag.
here.
Oops.
Start to go down, so we'll put a few here.
Okay. She takes
I'm
them.
going to show you guys my secret.
She has no secret.
I'm starting to get
She took them right out of the bag.
Here's the carrots.
Unwashed celery.
And the potatoes. We're going to put in just a few. I'm starting to get
And
packed in
she's
here.
taking them right out of the bag.
Put a few here.
Not washed. Just throwing them right
Show
in
you guys
the
my
bag.
secret.
That's where we're having slug waste and beetle waste and
Little
larvae.
dirt, little sand,
Secret.
little grittiness,
Yes.
little
yes.
texture.
I just
That's all
can't.
we're talking
There's
about.
no need.
Just a little
Oh.
added texture.
Extra protein.
Yeah.
It's not
What's
okay.
going wrong, fool?
Oh, Grandpa.
Red potatoes.
What's wrong,
White
Wolf?
potatoes.
Hi, love.
And I always put my potatoes on top and not on the bottom. And is there a reason for doing that?
Oh, hold on one second.
There is absolutely a reason.
Hold on one second, guys. All right. We're
With that, and it's because I love the juices of the meat, the seasoned meat, with drippings of the potatoes.
okay. Now the seasoning she used was actually a packet.
And I only got this little
Joe.
bit of this.
Oh, thank you.
This will be good for soup, right? Just put the whole stock like this into a soup, and it'll give you a good flavor. So we got root vegetables in here. We've got
Okay. I'm gonna wait till she does it before I actually say anything.
potatoes in there. We've got onions. So here we are right now.
All right.
Okay, nice.
Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you.
It's pretty, and it's gonna be ready.
Thanks for coming in.
And the reason why it's taking me so long is because I'm just sitting here explaining this stuff to you instead of
Oh, the pencil's low or something like that.
I gotta
Yeah.
put that.
You must season your vegetables.
Thank you, B. Tim. I have a suggestion.
Well, and if you think you don't have enough salt on your vegetables, throw a little bit more on.
Do not do that. Do not. Do not. Do not do that. If you think you have enough salt, throw more. Because first of all, she didn't. Let me just explain. She uses a packet of Lipton beefy onion something. And aside from that being filled with sodium, she didn't dissolve it and put it into some liquid and put the broth in there. So she's salting it now, and she's gonna salt it again with the sodium on those. Let me just explain. You can just put spices. Put your garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, cayenne, paprika. Just grab your spices from up there versus grabbing your packet and opening it. It just doesn't need to have that, because aside from it being over sodium filled, it's just unhealthy for all the. You don't need to do that when there's a whole spice rack behind you. Okay, B. Tim, I'm reading what you have.
Plan?
Yeah, I'm reading what he has. B. Tim.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not working. All right. B. Tim said, I have a suggestion. Copy Betty's recipe to the exact T and then feed it to your husband on live stream. Also make sure to up your life insurance premium on it just so you can get a bigger payout. That is exactly. I mean, that's the thing is there's people watching me, Tim. There's people. I mean, there's things that we don't even know. When we're gonna make something, I will call my son. I'll call my brother, and I'll go, "Hey, what goes good with this? What can I make with this?" And he goes, "Mom, you don't even have to do that. You can do this." Like, what was it that I made? And you said reduce the bacon or something like that. To rendering the fat. Like, I would have never thought of that on my own. But I mean, I'm not going to just give you guys advice. I need some, like, she shouldn't give people advice and then not wash her vegetables, not stick her meat and lay it in the sink and then season it, spice it up. I mean, she spiced it up. Okay. Oh, we're almost, okay.
You want to make sure that they're well seasoned. So I literally put a mess of salt and pepper.
A mess of it.
A mess.
She says because the potatoes soak it up, but
Okay.
you can season later, you know, with salt and pepper for sure.
Salt.
You just gotta taste it, you know.
Now here
He said he's watched a lot. There's been times when he's watched it, and then it went to the trash.
Half this package, okay?
You just never know what you're gonna make me, Tim.
And then we're going to
Well,
Okay.
she just put a crap load of salt and pepper in there, a lot of salt.
This is
and
the
now
packet.
this thing is just packed with
The
salt.
packet that she's putting in.
But I'm going to add just one little thing extra right before this ends, just to thicken it up. And it's going
We
to
can
be
do like part 2
some.
later.
So you gotta
Okay.
buy all this, you know, you don't.
Your days are busy.
I'm not saying it's not a good
Yeah.
thing, but
Yeah.
hey,
Doesn't keep you from wanting
those
the
flavors
most.
are kind of good. You can put those. I've seen people use those as
You kind of have to eyeball
you know,
this.
seasoning
All you do
for,
is just
for other
sprinkle it
things,
on top
Yeah.
of
which
your
is fine. But
vegetables evenly.
she already put a mess of what she said, a mess of salt. Now she's putting like tons of chemically, you know, altered salt in there.
Okay. I think she's almost done actually. This is the stuff that people watch. And if anybody wants to do a cooking channel, just remember the people watching are seeing everything you have everywhere. And I'm just advising you, it's not as appealing. Let me just say that. It's not as appealing. And there's things about us. I have to get ready. I have to go and fix my hair before I go live. We have to wipe. Even if we get done doing the dishes, we have to look around because we don't want people to be uninterested in trying the recipe simply because the surrounding did not look appealing. Okay, we're almost done, you guys. She's about to finish, and she does the crime part, and I'm gonna leave that alone. 'Cause-
Did you see this?
Oh yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah, that's a real story. Yeah.
So this is
Where,
what
bruh?
it looks like now.
Sorry.
See?
Unwashed, so does that really look good when it's not washed? That's my only question. Her neighbor doesn't know. Her neighbor's gonna eat unwashed,
Seasonings.
I don't wanna say the larvae again, but
It's not fitting back here too well. We don't want to remove the seasoning. You just want to go right around the edges. You see, you don't want to put it
yes, you do.
over the-
You do wanna put it over that. That's a lot of sodium.
edges so it gets to the
Well,
bottom.
if you want, you know, whatever seasonings you got, no matter what it is, I mean, put it all over it
Yeah.
because it needs to be in the juice.
You really
know?
want your
You don't want it to
juices
sit
to be
up
flavored.
on top of the potatoes. You want it to soak
Why
in
would you
the
want?
juice.
Yeah, you really
You
want
want it mixed in.
You want it. You want it.
You wouldn't want it. I would
Yes.
think.
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. You would want that.
These nitrile gloves. If you're a member or you get the coupon, you can
I doubt she ever wears them, but that's just my personal
I
thoughts.
wait until
That's just my thoughts because I believe she actually touched a water bottle with her own fingerprints. So if anybody had gloves like that all the time, then there wouldn't be her prints on the
right,
water
let's-
bottle.
let's
Okay,
see how it goes.
sorry. That's the crime side. You would want
Fingerprints.
you would want the skin and chop them off.
All right.
Okay.
Very good.
Yes, that's what I would say too, Tim.
it's just it's a pet peeve of mine. You're never going to change me from that. I don't like doing it with very simple. We just take this.
Okay, this is the final. Everybody
Camera's not.
hold their stomach.
You guys can see me. Don't mind my kitchen. I've got a lot of well, it's not really a lot. It's just
People mind.
sort of the only thing out of place
People
right
mind.
here needs to go in there, and that the dog found somewhere.
Okay, your point of wearing gloves is that you don't touch everything.
Yeah, she grabbed the meat. Now
Yes,
she's looking
she
for
was
stuff
just
to cover.
touching the meat with those hands, and now she went up in the spices. Again, the gloves are to prevent contamination.
You got to change your glove if you're going to do that.
Need one of these for this meal.
And it's hard to remember. I get it.
And now she's picking the meat up with the other hand. So now her hands have contamination and she's going to put it back in the cupboard.
Now watch what's so great. Salt all over it. You see the pepper all over it. And you just put it down on the meat. Same with this one.
Her meat is laying.
The pepper, the salt, everything. Now watch what's so great about how I clean my meat.
There's nothing great about
Watch
it.
this. So you take this off, pick this off.
Yeah. Well, T-Berry, she has salt, pepper, garlic powder, and the last week's dishes, the bowl of cereal from the milk in the morning.
Clean out the mess from your
Yes, cheese, correct.
sanitize.
Yes, and you want them to be all uniform in size so that they get done together.
Sanitize your environment, right there. And you don't even have to scrub this out. You just leave this here in your sink.
I would wipe it down a little bit.
I would-
Do a little scrubbing.
Okay,
I would.
and see, but her hands have been touching the meat, and then she's holding the squirt bottle. So now she's putting her squirt bottle under there, and so now her hands that had the pork are putting the. So if she, it's just that's the whole point of them. Take your gloves off. It limits the cross contamination.
Yeah, she took 'em off.
It helps. That's why we help each other. Joe helps me. I help him when we're cooking, and it's just again.
But I think you should be mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And not, if you're not trying to tell anybody how to do something, and you're just doing it in your own home, that's one thing. But when you're trying to, you're feeding someone across the street and you're trying to teach people how to do things.
Yep.
Be mindful of what you're doing. It's like you have to go, oh God, I do have to take off my glove. Oh my God, sorry about that. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
You got to be mindful of that kind of
Yep.
stuff. That's all.
All right, guys, we're gonna let you guys go. Hey, Steffi. Oh,
Just
thank
try.
you. My daughter-in-law.
Give it
My daughter-in-law is the
old
biggest blessing of my
college
life.
try.
The whole college try. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
Thank you, T-Berry.
everybody. Yeah, my daughter-in-law has got the hands of gold. She does it really tight, and I have a lot of hair also. So when she does it, I usually leave it in for a day or two. But I didn't have anything to hold it in, so my little flyaways were coming out. Anyways, thank you guys so much. We will be cooking. I think we're gonna stay with our grandson for a couple days. And I love it because I can see my son, I get to see my grandson, my daughter-in-law. But we'll be cooking on Sunday night. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
I hope I wasn't trying to be mean. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
I was trying just to be informative.
Yeah, just
So thank you,
some
Senorita.
things that we try not to do.
Yeah. Hi, papas. Oh, Chase said hi.
Chase. Bye, Chase.
You guys, if you guys could do us a favor and hit the like button on your way out. We cook in the kitchen together. We've been together 20 years, so we kind of get used to each other's cooking styles, and I'm kind of stuck with him, so I have to cook with him.
B-Tim says, don't worry, man, I'll be the mean one.
But you have such good, funny stuff, B-Tim. Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you. Have a blessed weekend. We will talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Hit that.
See ya.
If you guys get the like, and then I think somebody dropped the Cash App, PayPal, and all the links are in there somewhere. Thank you again. Hit the X.
X.
Be blessed, guys.